There are moments that surprise and delight the mind and the senses. Introducing Sound Art, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. A revolutionary combination of incredible sound delivered from your most meaningful pictures. When art and technology intersect, there is a seamless blend of creativity and function.
Come alive in the streetlight, pulling at the stars in the moonlight. Every time I feel you close.
With Sound Art, anyone can print their own artwork or pick from numerous licensed artwork that we have. The possibilities are limitless. Enjoy beautiful and amazing sound throughout your home. The entire surface of your artwork generates incredibly robust sound. Sound Art is elegantly hidden behind a high-grade, textured canvas wrap, bringing together the best of sound and art. This innovative design allows for a truly invisible, high-fidelity sound experience without bulky speakers. For licensors and other businesses, we are capable of producing thousands of units per day.
We're using the highest quality materials to give you the best product available in the market. Everywhere you look, there's always art. What I like so much about Sound Art, that you could just pair it and play.
Ansia, your art never sounded so good.
After a one-week break, the OMSRL XFinity Series, sponsored by Tucson Sound Art, returns. Tonight, it's the Windy City 150 from the Chicago Speedway over in Joliet, Illinois. The Chicagoland Speedway is one of the most unique 1.5-mile cookie cutters that you could possibly find out there, particularly with that curved back straightaway. And I've found time and time again throughout all of my years of calling these types of races that this is one of the most exciting mile and a halves that you can possibly find out there on the circuit. So we're happy that you're joining us here on a beautiful night as we get set to go back racing for the Tuesday night OMSRL XFinity Series. Looking down into how the championship standings shake on up here today as we roll through, continuing on with our championship standings as we left after a one-week break over from the RD Designs 130 of the Rockingham Speedway. It's going to be none other than Michael Kenner still at the top of the standings now with 2 wins up on the boards. Grant Peterson sits second, but he's 31 points out. Still more than enough time for him to work his way back in. Sean Kaiser, Hamilton, Morton are some of the drivers that are a bit closer down towards that bubble spot. Colby Wells, the furthest driver of the win down, sits 13th place, 66 points back from points leader Michael Kenner. Of course, Spencer Ray was looking set to win the race 2 weeks ago at the Rockingham Speedway, but an unfortunate caution saw him lose the lead and as a result lose the race. He was never able to get that one back. Spencer Ray going to be looking for a little bit of redemption then here tonight from the Chicagoland Speedway. Looking down towards the team's championship, Badger Racing still up on top with All-American Motorsports 18 points out. TI Racing just a little bit further behind them with 27 points. From there, it's triple digits. 101 points out for Shake and Bake Racing. Inconsistency Racing is in 5th, and it's 365 points out for Unknown Samurai Racing. Meanwhile, as we have definitely rocked up to the beautiful Chicagoland Speedway, qualifying is very much underway presently. As you can see, several of the drivers currently out there on laps. There is currently nobody that is on a flying lap. So we'll be waiting to see, no doubt, how a lot of this is going to be playing now for a lot of these drivers. But I think it should be a relatively smooth sailing time for a lot of the guys out there in this field. We'll look over at how the qualifying order is shaken up for the moment, and it's Anthony Musatti up on top. But only by about 0.03 of a second. Qualifying can always be very, very tight over at a 1.5 mile speedway like this, and so far looks like drivers all across the field are doing a good job as Jack Balch puts himself 7th fast, as well as just promoted himself to 10th with the likes of Jacob Noyes getting set to cross the line. Can he improve in 13th place? No, he cannot. Justin Wilson trying to do the same, and it looks like he will also not improve. Kyle Munson has just put himself, though, up into the 13th spot, bumping Noyes back. There is the likes of Brad Prenger, one of the last drivers out on the racetrack at the moment, currently rounding turns 3 and 4. He's trying to see if he can put himself up from 17th place with a 31.93, 31.07 to beat for pole position. And it will be slight improvement, only up to 13th or 14th though. Can Munson improve from 13th place? No, he cannot. So a lot of drivers only able to go out for one good qualifying hit before they all ended up falling a little bit further down the order, and it's looking like that'll just about wrap it up for qualifying already. There are 22 drivers getting set to take the field tonight. Only 17 of those have qualified. So it is appearing for the moment that it's going to be a fairly steady process down the line, as we'll see how this race will play on out. Qualifying has just wrapped up, though. And, of course, you know what that means. It's time for your Tucson Sound Art starting grid as we see who will line up where in the Windy City 150 at the Chicagoland Speedway. It's Anthony Musatti on pole with Kyle Green beside him on the front row, exactly 0.03 of a second back. Hunter throws in 3rd, and Spencer Ray is in 4th. Michael Kenner is in 5th. The entire top 5 separated by less than 1/10 of a second. Ryan Dingler rounds out row number 3. Jack Balch is in 7th with Logan Hamilton in 8th. Kevin Cordall is 9th. Grant Peterson rounds out the top 10. For there you got Colby Wells and Sean Kaiser in 11th and 12th. It's Kyle Munson in 13th with Brad Pringer in 14th. Jacob Noyes and Nathaniel Ames round out row number 8. From there, it's Justin Wilson, Matt Rucci, Robert Peterson, Stefan Purcell, Jason Green, and Matt LaValle, the Canadian, bringing up the rear of the field. And Matt Rucci also finding himself way down the order. It's a bit unusual to see a driver like Rucci so far down the running order, so we'll see how that'll play out for him. Hopefully, we won't have too much of a problem with that. I know Rucci sometimes likes to start at the back, gives him a little bit of extra things to race for, as gives him a bit of work to do. So who knows at this point what is going to end up taking place as the pace car gets set to head out on the formation lap. Want to see if we can't potentially get a chat to one of the drivers that we don't often get a chance to talk to up here in the broadcast booth. None other than one of the series organizers here, Jacob Noyes, will be rolling off 15th, on the starting grid. Jacob, you're starting on that inside row, but a bit further down the field. What do you think you'll have to do to work your way to the front there?
Well, my strategy is always just stay on the top, try and save as much tire, that way you can attack towards the end of the stint. But I don't know, just got loose on my qualifying run, so this was the best I could muster.
And is there anybody that you think we should be keeping an eye out for tonight, or is it one of those races where we'll wait and see what happens?
It's, for the most part, going to be a wait and see, but I got my eyes on Spencer. He's been hungry for a lot of races, and I think he might have his number punched here.
Well, thank you for taking the quick chat for us here pre-race, Jacob. We'll let you get back to work. Good luck out there.
Thanks, Nolan.
That was Jacob Noyes. He'll be starting off in 15th place. Meanwhile, for pole sitter Anthony Musatti, he's out of turn number 4 into the Geico restart zone. Leave it up to the Irish starter. Green flag is out. We're underway from Joliet, Illinois. A solid start for most drivers throughout the field, save for one, Michael Kenner, who started up in 5th place, and he has already slipped all the way back to 11th place, so 6 spots lost for the 2-time winner of the season. Oh, they're getting loose in front. Musati already getting way out of shape, and he's able to just wrestle that Badger Racing machine back as Kyle Green goes for the lead, and now Spencer Ray wants to take it back. So a lot of drama already in the early goings here. Kyle Green will take the race lead away from Spencer Ray. Going to get a look on what happened here to the likes of Anthony Musati as he got all sorts of crossed up out of turn number 2. Almost got to the outside wall. You see Hamilton almost got into it with Colby Wells, but luckily they were able to escape that one without further incident. So we are green flag racing in the Windy City 150 and single file for a good portion of the field. Hamilton trying to fend off Grant Peterson while attacking Jack Bulch, who's up on the top shelf, pushing up from the bottom lane. For Chicagoland has always been that really big, top-heavy racetrack, so we'll see if that's going to continue to be the trend here today as Hamilton sneaks to the inside of Peterson, trying to find a hole, and he's going to just push up. But Peterson fending him off up on the high side. So it's a solid run and a solid getaway for a lot of the drivers up in this field. As you can see the 23 car, the Rooftop Designs 23 car trying to, or Rooftop Bar Tools machine of Jack Bulch and the likes of Colby Wells, both trying to work together for TI Racing to attack the All-American Motorsports driver in the Lowe's Chevrolet of Hunter Thrower right up in front of them. Further in the back, Jacob Noyes still trying to work his way up through the field. +3 from where he started today. Started all the way back in 15th place. He just worked his way on the outside of Sean Kaiser out of turn number 2. He's really close to the outside wall, running the Larson line. But look at how much speed he's able to carry off as a result. And Noyes has cleared for 12th. And Dingler goes to the outside of Anthony Musati. Musati pushes up and clears himself. Dingler in the Olsco Supra immediately cuts back low. He'll dive bomb Musati into turn number 3, and that will promote the number 2 car up to 3rd. A very clean start then so far to this race. No real big movers, save for the likes of Kenner, who dropped 6, but he has stopped the bleeding from there. Of course, also keep one eye for Marucci, who's already +5, and he is at the moment running 13th. They are getting all sorts of dicey up here at the front of the field, though, as Spencer Ray looks back to the inside of Kyle Green. Can he secure the lead in turn number 4? Looks like he will. Pushes up, he'll clear the M&M's Supra of Kyle Green, and that goes Spenny Mustang. Will lead a lap from the Chicagoland Speedway. Of course, it had been the likes of Spencer Ray that had originally overtaken Musati for the first place. And Kyle Green immediately got him back in turn number 3. But now, able to properly fight back. We'll see what Kyle Green will be able to do in his number 18 car as we continue to round this beautiful 1.5-mile speedway. You saw Thrower look to the inside of Jack Bulch. Meanwhile, Wells attacking Kevin Cordall, or more trying to fend off Kevin Cordall, as it hasn't necessarily been the start of dreams for Colby Wells, who is only +2 on the day. He is trying to put Cordall back into 10th, but it's not happening. It's a hard fight at the moment that Cordall is putting up, and I have a feeling that Bulch will have to wait, or Wells, excuse me, will have to wait to secure that pass a little bit further down the line. On board with Kyle Green as the Dirty South Racing driver continues to work at Spencer Ray. From the looks of things, though, I think Kyle Green's going to just be content to sit behind the Go Spenny Mustang for the time being and wait and see what comes his way. Looking a bit further in the field, how about the likes of Anthony Musati under fire by All-American Motorsports? That is for Fifth place as Thrower works around the outside line. Musati to the inside, with Logan Hamilton running right behind. And now Hamilton will look to the outside line of Anthony Musati, pushing up. That's going to get a bit tight and a bit close call for Hamilton off of 2, but Musati is able to keep that car pinned to the low side, so Hamilton can have his work cut out for him in the Monster Energy Dirty South racing machine, but it looks like he'll finally clear up on the top shelf. Ryan Dinkler also in a drag race now, with Jack Bulch in the run into turn 1. The laps ticking away in a hurry. We're already over a 10th of the way through. Stage break isn't until lap 35, though, so there's still over 20 laps left, and I do believe we might be getting a potential run of fuel stops, that means, right before the stage ends. But we'll see how all of that plays out. So for the moment, your top 5 is Ray, Green, Bulch just took over from Dingler, and Thrower. Oh, that's tight, and a bit of a touch there between Bulge and Dingler, I do believe, as Thrower connects with the outside wall, reacting to the scrap up in front of him. Tell you what, there's always the action going on up in front. You don't get the chance to look back down to what's going on a little bit deeper down in the field, as we've got this big fight here between Kyle Munson and Jacob Noyes that has been going on for the better part of the last 5 laps or so, with Noyes looking to the outside of Munson off of 2, trying to secure 15th. Noyes mentioned he got loose in his qualifying lap, and he just has not been able to put together the race pace to hold on to that position, as Munson sweeps up but not able to get up enough to clear. And all of this has caused them to lose a pretty significant chunk of time to the race leaders here. You can see the number 16 on the track map, bottom right of your screen. The leaders from 14th on up pulling away as Munson continues to go on defense. You can already see just how much the lap times are starting to really fall off in comparison, as going to pull up a little bit of a thing just to kind of put into perspective here. And you can, in fact, see the lap time history for Logan Hamilton here in comparison to Hunter Thrower. In fact, it's dropped off almost 0.4 of a second per lap in the last 4 or 5 laps or so, and that is a trend that is continuing to build. So tire fall off really, really nasty here at the moment for these guys, and you know that's not going to make it any easier, as Hamilton got a bit hot up there with the outside wall. He did make a bit of contact there, but he is able to get that car back under control. And it's going to get a look on board with Hamilton here. You see him just pushed up, connect with the outside wall, but able to gather it up relatively quickly. But now that's caused the fighting to kick up a bit further up the road, with Grant Peterson fighting against Michael Kenner and his High Point Mustang. Pushing up from the apron. It's always a risky thing. There's not a whole ton of banking at the Chicagoland Speedway. So it's at this point sort of who knows what might take place here. You never quite these races have the tendency to fly off the rails really, really quickly. We saw this happen time and time again. It happened at Michigan. It happened at Bristol. Charlotte, though, went relatively okay. Seeing as this is another mile and a half, who knows? Maybe it'll be a similar fashion this time around. As Rucci looks now to the inside of Grant Peterson, but not able to close. Kyle Green has continued to sit behind Spencer Ray, and the fact that they're not battling each other has really helped them to build a gap. As you can see, a second up now from Dingler, who is still trying to defend against the TI Racer driver Jack Bulge, as Kenner almost puts Thrower into the outside wall. You got a long host of drivers here, all in a big, big line. So at this point, it's a wait-and-see game as to what might take place here as we take a look over entirely at the battle for the third position with Hunter Thrower right in the thick of it trying to attack Michael Kenner. There you can see all the drivers involved in this battle, all 7 of them at least, third on back through 9th, all within a second. Multi-time winner and so far the only champion in the OMSRL Xfinity Series, Matt Rucci, has definitely been on a tear since the start of this race. He did not qualify. He started all the way back in 18th. He now sits up in 6th place. He just got around the Lowe's 83 of Hunter Thrower, now trying to chase after two-time winner this season as Bulch is up into the outside wall. Jack Bulch collects the outside wall in a big fashion. He's going to lose several spots and he does have damage over on the right front. We'll try to see if we can get a look on what has just happened there to the likes of Jack Bulch. We'll have to back it up a little bit here for this one. You can see him trying to chase down after the Alsco Supra of Ryan Dingler right in front of him as we ride on board the Rooftop Bar Tools TI Racing driver. Just a little bit loose. Overcorrected, got into the outside wall, but a decent save considering where he was in the field. Could have been a lot worse. Kenner has caught Dingler attacking out of turn number 4. Looks to the inside. Can he secure the pass as he gets loose coming back up from the transition? Doesn't have it quite yet. Dingler's fighting this one on the outside line as Rucci right behind these drivers, now sitting in 5th. He wants to find a way through. Will he try for 3 wide up the middle? There's no room for it to work, and he's going to back out. All the while, Kenner is doing a good job on just hanging on. But this is again allowing for your top 2, Ray and Green, to pull what is now a 2-second gap over the rest of the field. And finally, Dingler is clear, but only to get loose and come up and chop the nose of Rucci unintentionally. Meanwhile, further back, Jack Bulch being put under a bit of pressure here by Brad Prenger, who is up several spots from where he started this race. But that venture not going to last too long. He's also going to slip back. Robert Peterson, we haven't seen a whole lot from your AMD Radeon Mustang so far today, as he is going to look to the outside of Bulge and trying to make something happen down the front straightaway. Dingler looks like has been losing, a fair bit of pace so far. We'll compare the lap times to Matt Rucci. We'll compare them to Hunter Thrower, and you'll see Thrower has been closing in somewhat, and now the tables have just flipped around. We went from running in the mid-32s. The pull times were in the 31s. Now we're running in the low 33s. So there's at least a 2-second fall-off. Contact between Musati pushes Dingler up the track. Under 5 laps to go in stage 1, and it's getting physical out here. Anthony Musati working to the inside of Dingler. Can he make it happen? The Mahindra Supra of Grant Peterson right behind. More contact, and that's going to force Dingler into the outside wall. Musati slides low. Kaiser will get through. Here comes Peterson and Prenger also wanting in on the fight, and Anthony Musati is not going to let that one go. I imagine neither will Ryan Dingler. Grant Peterson goes through. Dingler off the pace. It looks like he has not had a good run. Musati's loose off the transition. This is getting real tight here. A lot of damage to Dingler. It's hampering his pace as he almost wipes out Sean Kaiser. 3 wide now. Prenger up top. Musati on the bottom as Dingler tries to find a way to hang on to whatever spots he can. Musati's through, so is Prenger. Here comes Peterson up the bottom as well. This has not gone at all to plan for Ryan Dingler. And we'll get another look at this one. This was all the way down into turn numbers 1 and 2. See him slip up and, it looks like we were a lap early, but there has been trouble for Anthony Musati. Oh, sideways out of turn 2 in a huge way. Way to the inside and into the infield grass on the back straightaway. Able to wrestle it back, though, and he brings that car back up onto the racetrack with no further incident. Rounding the track for the final time, meanwhile, for Spencer Ray. And it looks like his efforts to go for a race win will definitely be rewarded here as Ray crosses the line to win stage number 1. So your top 10 as they cross the line: Ray, Green, Kenner, Rucci, Thrower, Peterson, Kaiser. The other Peterson looks like Prenger and Bulch. Caution flag is out for the first time from the Chicagoland Speedway. We'll take a quick step away. We'll be back in just a moment.
SoundArt introduces an entirely new way to listen to music in your home by combining the best of 2 products: a revolutionary high-fidelity, low-profile Bluetooth wireless speaker with beautiful artwork. Select from a library of artwork or upload your own photos to personalize your experience. SoundArt ushers in an era of invisible, beautiful, and amazing sound throughout your home and redefines your entire entertainment system. The need to reclaim your floor space and rid your home of unsightly speaker boxes that need to be bolted to the wall is now a thing of the past. Our canvas is printed on high-quality permalite by Breathing Color. And select from our gallery or upload your own. Standard sizes include 16 by 20 and 18 by 24 canvas wrapped. Custom sizing is available. as well as surround sound options.
Welcome back to Chicagoland Speedway, where we are under our first yellow flag of the night, and we are bringing them all down to pit road as it's been a fairly solid run for everybody in this field, and we're looking set to try to continue it. Your stage winner, Spencer Ray, did a solid job to get that car up onto the with those 10 extra bonus points, so we'll see if you translate that into a race win. First in, first out for the Go Spenny number 6 as trouble for Michael Kenner. Looks like an end of the longest line penalty. I'm willing to bet speeding on the number 98. Meanwhile, as Spencer Ray has gotten himself the opening stage win of the night, and I have to say, Spencer did a solid job to get that car up there. Kyle Green kind of cut you a little bit of slack there, but hey, step one, it wanted to get that win that was so elusive from Rockingham. Get that stage win. How does it feel?
Pretty good, I guess. Just had fun running.
You certainly were looking like you're having a fun time out there, especially when you and Green were able to build up that 2+ second gap over the rest of the field. Do you reckon you'll be able to build up a similar gap throughout the remainder of the race to pull out the win that kind of escaped your grasp over at Rockingham?
I don't know now that Rucci's up here.
Well, hopefully you'll be able to get yourself up there in victory lane. It'd be a pleasure to be able to talk to you up on a couple steps higher up on the podium at the end of the night. Before we let you go, I know you're one lap to green. Anybody you'd like to shout out for that Go Spenny number 6?
Oh, man. No, I'm good.
All right, sounds good. Then thank you for joining us, and, well, best of luck in the rest of the race. Short and sweet from the All-American Motorsports driver, as we have had trouble at the back of the field, and it is big trouble at that. Caution flag is back out, and they're still wrecking under caution. There is something going all sorts of haywire in the back here. And, oh, Wells has just been taken out by Ryan Dingler. So we have got some serious retaliation going on here in the field, which is in complete and utter shambles. He's hit him again. This is going to have to result in a disqualification, I imagine, for Ryan Dingler. That is absolutely unacceptable. Dingler is into the infield. Wells has gotten a whole host of damage. Lights are back out on the pace car. I think Wells has just called it quits, as has Ryan Dingler. Want to get a quick look on what happened way back here in the field. So Dingler already not happy with Wells, rear-ending the back end of his car, and that spun Wells. That took out Hamilton, and more drivers all getting collected. You can see a couple of guys stopped way back in the field. And then Wells rocketed back up and retaliated against Dingler. I'm not going to lie, I'm at a bit of a loss for words here. But the field's coming around through turns 3 and 4. A lot of drivers now with very heavy damage. That is not what you want to see at all. That's not what a racetrack is for. You want to wreck somebody? Do it off the track, or in practice, or after the race. Don't do it during. A lot of drivers caught up unnecessarily in that. We'll see how race control will handle that after tonight's event. Green flag's back in the air. We're underway. Good start so far throughout the field as we are back to green flag racing in the Windy City 150. Grant Peterson and Kyle Munson working together as Logan Hamilton starts to go on the offensive. Hamilton's got the great short run pace. He's just got to try to translate that into some long run pace at the end of the race as Munson continues to work at the Dirty South Racing number 12 Toyota Supra. A clean few green flag runs or laps at least to kick off the second and longest stage of the night. Peterson just attacked Prenger and overtook him into turn number 3. That was for 8th. Apologies, by the way, if I'm not talking a whole lot. I'm still trying to see if I can find out exactly what happened between Dingler and Wells that got Dingler so up in arms that kicked off the, well, it's nothing short of a melee as we were getting set to come back to green. But it looks like that reasoning will elude us for the time being. So hopefully I'll be able to get some details after that after the race, and maybe we'll be able to find something in the in next week's race over at Mid-Ohio. Battle still going on up and down throughout the track, though. This one is for 9th, with Munson now starting to slip further back as Brad Prenger is on the move, trying to break his way up into the top 10. Kevin Cordall looking like he might want to try something on the outside line, as I think Munson just got a little bit unsettled on the transitioning. Lost any speed he had on Prenger, lost the spot to Cordall, just lost another one. Was trying to hang on to another one against the likes of Michael Kenner. The Jay Concepts Mustang is doing a good job on trying to play defense, but it is evident that that number 8 card just does not have a whole lot of speed underneath it. As now Musadi, who is down 12 spots after he started up on pole, is just trying to regain lost time after he got up into the outside wall with Ryan Dingler coming towards the end of the last stage. That sent him into the infield, lost him any stage points he was hoping to get, and now just trying to regain lost time. Kenner and Cordall still looking to work at it with each other as we round lap number 50. Matt Rucci has caught Spencer Ray and has made the pass for the race lead just in time for halfway. Pass was initiated in 1 and 2. Finished off in turns 3 and 4. Matt Rucci, after starting all the way back in 18th, is now up in the front of this race. with Spencer Ray trying to follow through. 50 down, 50 to go from the Windy City 150. We'll take a look top to bottom at your Tucson Sound Art scoring field as Rucci and Ray run 1-2. Kyle Green's almost a second, back in third. Jack Bulch sits fourth with Thrower in fifth. Sean Kaiser sits in sixth with Robert Peterson in seventh. Hamilton's eighth with Prenger and Peterson in ninth. Kenner's in 11th with Musadi and Cordall fighting for 12th and 13th as, well, Butson goes to 13th. The Cordall gets up into the outside wall. You'll lose out to 7 Purcell, who's down 14th. Fall back to the 15th. Nathaniel Ames is in 16th. LaValle is 17th. He's got Wilson, Green, and Noyes behind him to round out 20 cars left in this field. And, of course, that means from there you will have the likes of Colby Wells and Ryan Dingler, all of them a long way down the field now as a result of under caution antics, as Noyes just snuck to the inside there of Jason Green. Still have a very, very competitive field here as Kenner and Prenger continue to do battle for the last spot inside the top 10. I have a feeling, though, next week it's not going to be quite as competitive as it has been tonight. It'll be the Go Spenny 127 kilometers at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Circuit. The one of the two road courses on the season. The other one, the right turns at the Glen at, well, you can probably guess where. It's in upstate New York. I think Kenner's finally managed to complete the pass on Brad Prenger. Well, never mind, not quite. Still having a rough time trying to secure that pass. Prenger has really been fighting it in the number 51 car up there, but I think he will now be able to get himself sorted in the allsouthelectric.com Chevrolet. Prenger loses 11th, and he'll immediately lose 12th to Anthony Musadi, who is still trying to get some more points for Badger. You see Grant Peterson did not manage to get a good chunk of the damage fixed on his, his Mahindra Tractors number 52 Supra, as he just got real loose in 1 and 2. And that is starting to really cost him here in the long run. The tire deg is so high at a track like this, and when you've got front damage like that, it absolutely hurts that wear. As he continues to try to fend off drivers behind, but I think he's started to slip further and further back, and he's only going to continue to drop throughout the rest of this run unless he can really pull something out that is truly unorthodox in the pit strategy to get him a bit of a head start on the field. And all the while, you've still got your top two still running line astern. Rucci has not been able to shake Ray. He's been able to get by him, but Spencer Ray's been catching him. And in fact, Rucci almost gets into the outside wall there. And that allows Ray to close in a few precious tenths or hundredths. Now, if I'm Spencer Ray, you know you've got to get the upper hand on Rucci somehow in this stage. If this goes green, what I want to do is pit a little bit earlier. Go for the undercut. Get out there, potentially a couple of seconds in front, and see if we can fend them off towards the end of the race. But I think he's not going to be able to do a whole lot. Just tucked behind the Outlier Esports and Badger Racing driver, and I have a feeling that's or the Outlier. Wow. Okay. Outlier. How's that? The Badger Racing driver. We'll call him that. So we continue to have a run at this. We'll see how this could potentially play out, and who knows at this point what might happen. Looking back to Michael Kenner, who is now caught up to Sean Kaiser, scrapping it out for 8th place now. Kaiser has continued to hold on to his spot as Robert Peterson now attacks Logan Hamilton. He's looking for the outside line in the Radeon 97 Mustang. Hamilton fighting off on the low side, but it's not an easy task once somebody gets to the outside to keep him alongside you, especially this late into a run. I mean, we are very, very deep now into this second stage. And Hamilton's not going to be able to fight off Robert Peterson. Peterson's been on a really big charge as well. He started all the way back in 19th. He also didn't qualify like Rucci. And he's up 13 spots now to run 6th. It's been a solid run for Peterson. It's been an excellent run for Rucci as they've just made contact, I think, with the outside wall right behind them as they got wicked out of shape there. Going to get a look at this one here. Contact between Kaiser and Kenner put Kenner Baker up into the outside wall. So far, so good. Looking a bit further up front here, Kyle Green has been steadily starting to reel these guys in, and I want to compare the lap times here between Kyle Green and Spencer Ray, and you can actually see it's kind of fluctuating a little bit. But it is looking like, for the most part, Kyle Green is actually starting to run them down. Closing that gap in from what was over a second now down to just over 9/10, so just kind of hovering around there. Spencer Ray as well has been reeling in Matt Rucci. And you can see that over time and time again. We're actually going to compare the last lap times here. You see that last lap alone, Spencer Ray was almost a 10th quicker than Rucci was. Will it be this time by? And closed up another 200. So Spencer Ray has been saving up his stuff. And I think he's about ready to pounce. Stefan Purcell, the first driver to hit pit road. No takers so far from your leading pack as the Go Spenny Mustang continues to work on Matt Rucci. I think he's just trying to wear him down a little bit as Musati will hit the lane next. Ray is taking a wise approach here. He's entering very high and he's running a higher groove, which, yes, it loses him a bit on entry, but look at the speed that he gets down these straightaways as Ames now makes his way. down into pit road. So one by one, drivers are going to start to cycle their way through. If you remember, Spencer Ray had the race virtually won at Rockingham, and he lost it when an unfortunate caution came out. And Michael Kenner, who had not pitted yet, was the only driver that was able to cycle to the race. Or sorry, no, he was one of the few drivers that had pitted, and he cycled through to the race lead because of it. Badger Racing's Grant Peterson is into the lane, and here comes Spencer Ray. He's going for the undercut, just like I said he should. So Spencer Ray is into pit road. You can see Matt Rucci rounding the track and Spencer Ray on your track maps here. That is your fight for the race lead. There is a large number of drivers all in pit lane at the moment. You can see Munson just leaving the lane with Brad Prenger right behind him. You've also got Bulch, Thrower, Kaiser, Kenner, all down into the lane. But Rucci is still not coming in. He's taking a very bold call at the moment to stay out. I think he's hoping that maybe a caution will come out. He's trying to stretch it long. But it's not like it would help him all that much. There's a group of 5 out of pit road. Jason Green just came down into the lane as we continue to await the arrival of Matt Rucci. So you do see Spencer Ray, the number 9 on the track map down there, but it is important to know that you can see on the timing tower, he is a lap down at the moment. So Ray's going to have to really scramble here. He wants to try to make something up as Rucci is going to come down into pit road. We compare the last lap times and look at Ray, 31.56, 33 seconds for Rucci that last time through. We add your current race leader, Kyle Green, onto the timing boards. He was within a second of the top 2 when these pit stops started. Rucci is into the lane, so is Hamilton right in front of him. And here comes Kyle Green into pit road. Meanwhile, Spencer Ray flying by Matt Rucci out of pit road. And you can see right there the gap that Ray has on Rucci. It is not, not even close. And now Rucci's behind all of these drivers back here. Rucci's got his work cut out for him. That might have been a golden pick call there from Spencer Ray. Go for the undercut, just like I said, and wait what happens. Kyle Green, the last driver out, and once again, no contest. So we're still waiting on all of these drivers to all get themselves cycled through as we're under 25 laps to go. Rucci on the fresh rubber will immediately snake to the inside of his teammate, Anthony Mussatti. No surprise that Mussatti is going to make that easy for Rucci. They're playing teammates for now, but we've seen it time and time again. Once that the checker flag comes out, it's no holds barred. Rucci continues to work on Kenner and Thrower now. The fresh rubber is really, really helping him out here, but it is also slowing him down by margins that he just cannot afford. Noise is in a pit road. Spencer Ray is in second place, just waiting on LaValle now to come in. 3 wide, down the front straight with Rucci on the apron, Thrower in the middle, Kenner up top. Will there be contact in a 1? No, there's not. Rucci easily takes it away on the bottom side. Meanwhile, Logan Hamilton and Logan Hamilton and Kyle Munson, they're scrapping it down for 11th and 10th. A lot of the drivers you can see have been spread out across the whole of the racetrack now, as Matt LaValle will be the last driver in, who has just now cycled his way into pit road, and Jacob Noyes already a lap down, coming in for a second time. Except he's not. Okay, that is an interesting one. Let's see if we can find out what just happened here to Jacob Noyes. He had just left pit. Oh, I see. He had just left pit road and was letting through some of the drivers that were up in front. Okay, that makes sense. I was confused for a second. I thought he had already come down. I guess he hadn't. So Spencer Ray way out in front. 3.5 seconds. Compare that to the lap times from Rucci, though, and you can see it's pretty plain. Rucci is closing in about 0.4 of a second every single lap. We'll compare it again now that Rucci is in clean air. And there's another 2. That gap is coming down. Spencer Ray, with still 18 laps left to go, is nowhere near safe. So with pit stops complete, why don't we take a ride on more of some of these drivers as we continue to tick the laps away in the Windy City 150. Trouble on the racetrack for the 12th place driver, Anthony Musatti, who is into pit road. Something going seriously awry for the number 49 car, but no caution. We'll take a look at this one, see what happened. Justin Wilson looking for the inside. Oh, wow! That's a technical failure and a half for Anthony Musatti. You can hear the engine revving like crazy as he slammed on the binders. Want to get a look at this one and listen in. Full lock. That is absolutely the marks of a massive technical failure. Somehow, there's no caution for that. He stopped in the middle of the racing line. We're going to get a look on board this with Robert Peterson, who's right behind this. That was some excellent driving there by Robert Peterson to get around that without causing a big mess. So, Anthony Musatti now into pit road, and that is just so unfortunate. He was having a fairly decent run, and now out of the fight as a result. We're under 15 laps to go. You've still got battles left, right, and center. Hamilton and Thrower are scrapping for fifth. Hamilton looked high, no room, looks low. And he'll send it in. But is not able to make the pass. Matt Rucci has caught Spencer Ray. And this is going to get hairy here. As Ray goes low, Rucci staying up on the racetrack. Ray's going to have to really defend here. 10 laps to go, though. I don't think he's going to be able to have that one as Matt Rucci sliding up and Spencer Ray kicking it out. They're both power sliding it out of turn number 2. Rucci to the inside of Ray, though, and he'll take the spot into turn 3. New leader of the 88. But maybe not for certain. We'll have to see in turns 1 and 2 if Ray can keep close to him. Taking a higher entry. Oh, yeah. No contest. No contest. Spencer Ray tried as he did, but when you got a guy that's got that much fresher tires on you, you don't have a chance of making it. Oh, LaValle has wrecked it. LaValle into the inside wall with 9 to go. Big, big crash for the 61 car. No caution. We'll take a look at a replay. Oh, into the outside wall and then finished off by Noyes, and that is a heavy, heavy shot into the inside wall. Yeah, there was nothing that Jacob Noyes could do there to avoid that, and that's going to be a wrap then for the WM number 61 Mustang. Tough break for a good number of the drivers out there. It's a big shame when you see the attrition rate ramp up, and I'm going to be honest, I am amazed that the yellow flag with Musatti, or that the incident with Musatti's technical failure there was not a yellow flag. That absolutely had the right to be one. Stopped dead center of the racing line with cars behind him. I don't understand it. I just don't. Now under 10 laps left to go, and at the moment, this pair here between Hamilton and a Thrower is the closest grouping that you've got out there on the racetrack between Thrower and Hamilton. Fifth, sixth, and seventh all separated by less than 1 second, just over 9/10, give or take. Apparent battling going on back here for 15th as well. That seems to have sorted itself out relatively quickly. It has been a very, very clean race so far. The only caution we have had was for the stage break. Will this be the first race to go caution-free for an incident? I think it might. Hamilton's pulling away from Thrower every single lap. And Thrower is separated from Kaiser. Prenger starting to put Munson, though, under a fair bit of fire for that last top 10 position. I honestly think that all South Electric.com Chevrolet might just be able to make it past DJ Concepts Mustang. You just get that little bit closer. Maybe he'll have to throw it in on the last lap. Oh, there he goes, making the move to the inside of Munson as Rucci takes the white flag. And Prenger clears for 10th. Munson's going to have to try to fight back here into turn number 1. Maybe we'll just be able... Nope, not going to be able to get there. Spencer Ray did a great job, meanwhile, to hang on. But he's going to have to settle for second as Matt Rucci out of the final corner wins the Windy City 150 from the Chicagoland Speedway. Wilson to the inside, trying to make a move on Nathaniel Ames. He can't get there, and they're going to crash after the start-finish line. Big hit there for Nathaniel Ames. And we'll get a look at that mess as blocked down the back straightaway. Justin Wilson tried to go the outside way, the long way around. Went low, Ames blocked, Wilson went high, got loose on the transition, slid down, and, well, the rest is history. But, hey, it's at the checker flag. All is well, ends well. Matt Rucci, rightfully, burns it down again on the front straightaway and almost gets into it with Grant Peterson, a Badger Racing teammate. So as Richie celebrates down there, it's time to take a look at your official post-race results from the Chicagoland Speedway. It's Richie and Ray to finish 1-2 with Kyle Green rounding out the podium. Michael Kenner finishes off in 4th with Logan Hamilton in 5th. Hunter Thrower is down in 6th. John Kaiser was in 7th. Robert Peterson is in 8th. Grant Peterson is at 9th. Brad Prenger rounds out the top 10. Kyle Munson and Kevin Cordall were in 11th and 12th. Stefan Purcell was the last driver to finish on the lead lap. From there, you've got Jason Green, Jacob Noyes, Nathaniel Ames, Justin Wilson, Matt LaValle finishes this race 8 laps down, the first driver to DNF. And it's Anthony Mussati, Jack Bulch, and Colby Wells, with Ryan Dingler taking up the rear. What a win and what a drive for all of these guys out there. This was one monumental race, but I have to say, I think the highlight definitely goes down to the late race charge that Matt Rucci put down late in the race to run down Spencer Ray and make the pass for the race win. Matt Rucci, you've just chalked yourself up another one. How does that feel for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough race, just a lot of green flag running. But you know, it was a lot of fun. The strategy paid off, catching Spencer there at the end. So yeah, pretty happy.
So when a race tends to go green from start to finish, minus the stage caution, in a race like this, I imagine sometimes it does make the strategy a little bit easier to figure out. But is there ever any kind of worry that something might happen at the last second to upend all of that?
Yeah, I mean, it's always that thing, you know, green flag pit stops. You know, this track's pretty short, so if anyone's, you know, near the front and if they stay out, and a caution comes out, you know, you can get trapped down a lap, which is pretty much the biggest worry. Or if a caution comes out in general during green flag pit stops, you're never gonna know where you're gonna come out. But you know, other than that, you know, it's pretty plain sailing, and yeah.
The Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course is going to be up next. It's likely going to be one of those races where you might be a little bit hard-pressed to find an on-track battle for yourself. How does Mid-Ohio sit for you? I know some people love it, some people hate it. Personally, I don't think it's suitable for stock car racing, but where does it fall in your spectrum?
Yeah, I have the the same opinion, but we'll see how it goes. I don't really know the layout, so we'll have to do some studying, and we'll see how it goes.
Well, fingers crossed you'll be getting yourself a third win on the season when we come back around at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Thank you for joining us here tonight. Matt, best of luck next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That was none other than Matt Rucci joining us up here at the top of the timing boards. It is looking like Spencer Ray not terribly eager to get a chat with us here tonight. And in fact, Kyle Green, similar story, same as the first. So your podium drivers, interestingly enough, seemingly nowhere to be found for the moment. So we'll see how this will pan out, and hopefully we'll be back with it at the end of this one. So thank you all for joining us here tonight for what has been an awesome race from the Chicagoland Speedway. First caution-free race of the season. We'll likely get one more. We go racing, road course racing at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course in 1 week's time.
There are moments that surprise and delight the mind and the senses. Introducing Sound Art, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. A revolutionary combination of incredible sound delivered from your most meaningful pictures. When art and technology intersect, there is a seamless blend of creativity and function.
Come alive in the streetlight, pulling at the stars in the moonlight. Every time I feel you close.
With Sound Art, anyone can print their own artwork or pick from numerous licensed artwork that we have. The possibilities are limitless. Enjoy beautiful and amazing sound throughout your home. The entire surface of your artwork generates incredibly robust sound. Sound Art is elegantly hidden behind a high-grade, textured canvas wrap, bringing together the best of sound and art. This innovative design allows for a truly invisible, high-fidelity sound experience without bulky speakers. For licensors and other businesses, we are capable of producing thousands of units per day.
We're using the highest quality materials to give you the best product available in the market. Everywhere you look, there's always art. What I like so much about Sound Art, that you could just pair it and play.
Ancia, your art never sounded so good.